Every year, thousands of Americans pack up their lives and move to Vietnam, and almost every single one of them gets something wrong. Not because they didn't research, not because they didn't prepare, because nobody told them the full story. This video is the full story. Living in Vietnam as a foreigner in 2026. The truth nobody tells you. Let's start with the visa, because even here, most people only know half the picture. The most common entry point is the e-visa, 90 days, online application, around 3 business days to process, $25 for single entry, $50 for multiple. As of 2026, 83 international airports, land borders, and seaports accept it. That's more flexibility than ever before. The moment you arrive in Vietnam and settle somewhere, a clock starts. You have 24 hours. Vietnamese law requires every foreigner to complete temporary residence registration within 24 hours of arriving at any address, hotel, apartment, or even a friend's home. If you're in a hotel, they do it for you. That passport photo they take at check-in, that's why. If you're renting a private apartment, that's your landlord's job. And honestly, this is where it gets dangerous. Many Vietnamese landlords, especially in cheaper buildings, older neighborhoods, don't do it. They don't know the rule. Or, they just don't want the hassle. And under Vietnamese law, you can still be held responsible. Vietnam's Decree 282, which took effect on December 15, 2025, actually doubled the maximum fine from 20 million dong to 40 million dong. That's roughly $1,500. And yeah, that's for a registration form your landlord was supposed to file. Under Decree 282, penalties now escalate sharply by duration. If you're under 16 days over, it's $19 to $76. 16 to 30 days, that can go up to $380. Over 30 days, fines could reach $1,500. But honestly, money isn't even the worst part. If you overstay beyond 16 days, you could face possible deportation and a blacklisting from re-entry, anywhere from 1 to 5 years. If you've built your life here, your apartment, your business, your relationships, a 5-year ban is not just a fine, it's the end. And here's what's changed. Vietnam's immigration database now tracks TRC expiration automatically. Even a single day of overstay creates a permanent violation record. This isn't just a paper stamp anymore. It's a digital record. It follows you. Treat your visa expiry date like a flight you cannot miss. Start the renewal process 2 weeks before, not 2 days. And if something goes wrong, illness, emergency, missed flight, contact an immigration lawyer immediately. The earlier you act, the more options you have. Now let's talk about the question everyone has, but not everyone asks out loud. Can you work remotely in Vietnam on a tourist visa? The honest answer is, most people do. They enter on a 90-day e-visa, work for foreign clients, and keep a low profile. Enforcement against individuals earning income from outside Vietnam is historically rare. But there are 2 lines you must never cross. Do not take Vietnamese clients. That creates Vietnamese-sourced income, taxable at 20% for non-residents. Do not work for a Vietnamese company. That makes you subject to local labor laws on a tourist visa. Keep your income foreign. Keep your payments in foreign accounts. The moment money flows from inside Vietnam to you, the legal picture changes completely. Then there's the 183-day rule. If you are physically present in Vietnam for 183 days or more in a calendar year, you become a Vietnamese tax resident. And as a tax resident, your worldwide income is potentially on the table. In practice, enforcement is still limited for remote workers. But the rule exists, and Vietnam's tax system is modernizing fast. If you're staying under 183 days, your risk is low. If you're staying longer, talk to a Vietnamese tax professional before you have to. The cost of one consultation is nothing compared to a tax audit. One more thing that will catch you off guard. Vietnam is still a cash-first country. Without a local bank account, which, by the way, requires a work visa, most foreigners rely on international cards and ATMs. Bring a card with zero foreign transaction fees. Always carry Vietnamese dong. The ATM on the corner might be your most important relationship in this country. Renting in Vietnam is easy. Modern furnished apartments in the best expat neighborhoods run about $400 to $900 a month. Sign a lease, confirm your landlord registers you, move in. Buying is a different story. Under Vietnamese law, no one owns land outright, not even Vietnamese citizens. Foreigners hold leasehold rights. You own the structure, but the state owns the ground beneath it. The leasehold term is 50 years, renewable once. Foreigners can own no more than 30% of units in a single condominium building. Once that quota is filled, the building is closed to foreign buyers, even if there are empty units. And here is the mistake that costs people the most. Some developers actively market apartments to foreigners, even when the project hasn't received legal permission to sell to foreign individuals. You pay a deposit, you fall in love with the apartment, and then you find out it was never legally available to you. Hire a Vietnamese property lawyer. Do it before you sign anything, before you pay anything. The legal fee, a fraction of a percent of the purchase price, is the cheapest insurance you will ever buy. Under Vietnamese law, no one owns land outright, not even Vietnamese citizens. Foreigners hold leasehold rights. You own the structure, but the state owns the ground beneath it. The leasehold term is 50 years, renewable once. Foreigners can own no more than 30% of units in a single condominium building. Once that quota is filled, the building is closed to foreign buyers, even if there are empty units. And here is the mistake that costs people the most. Some developers actively market apartments to foreigners, even when the project hasn't received legal permission to sell to foreign individuals. You pay a deposit, you fall in love with the apartment, and then you find out it was never legally available to you. Hire a Vietnamese property lawyer. Do it before you sign anything, before you pay anything. The legal fee, a fraction of a percent of the purchase price, is the cheapest insurance you will ever buy. In the Internations Expat Insider Survey for 2025, Vietnam ranked #1 globally for affordability. The cost of living runs roughly 55 to 60% lower than the United States. That's real. That's not marketing. But it comes with a condition. So the Vietnam that costs $600 a month? That means eating local, living simply, and honestly, letting go of a few Western habits. But hey, the Vietnam that costs $1,500 a month, modern apartment, international gym, Western restaurants, private health insurance, that totally exists too. Neither version is a lie. You just have to decide which version you're actually moving to. A realistic, comfortable expat budget in a major city? That's somewhere between $900 and $1,500 a month all in. And budget slightly more than you planned. Vietnam has a way of expanding. The traffic will intimidate you for like 2 weeks. Then, it'll just become second nature. Rent a motorbike, most expats do. But definitely get an international driving license that covers motorcycles before you arrive. Police checkpoints happen, the fine is small, the hassle is not. Vietnamese is honestly one of the hardest languages for English speakers. 6 tones, same word, 6 different meanings. You don't need to be fluent, but learn numbers. Learn how to order food. Learn thank you and how much. Locals notice. And trust me, it changes how they treat you. Healthcare in the major cities is better than most foreigners expect. International hospitals in Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi? Excellent care. Western prices? No, just a fraction. But get health insurance before you arrive, not after. A serious accident without coverage in a foreign country is a life-changing financial event. Don't find that out the hard way. And finally, community. Ho Chi Minh City, Hanoi, Da Nang, all have large, active expat networks. Facebook groups, meetups, co-working events. Find your people early. Navigating a foreign country is exponentially easier when someone around you has already made the same mistakes. Vietnam in 2026 is, honestly, one of the best places in the world to build a life as a foreigner. The lifestyle is real. The affordability is real. The energy of these cities, it just gets into your blood. But Vietnam also has a real immigration system. It is tightening, It is digital. It remembers everything. Register within 24 hours of every move. Never let your visa expire without a plan. Know the 183-day rule before you cross it. Verify every property with a lawyer before you sign. Get health insurance before you land. Do those things, and Vietnam will give you a quality of life that is genuinely hard to find anywhere else on earth. Welcome to the country that rewards people who understand how it works. If this video helped you, subscribe. More Vietnam guides coming every week. And drop your question in the comments. I read every single one.